And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Coach's Corner live from Coca's Pizza here in Canfield. And as always, the GOAT, one of my favorite men in the entire universe, Mr. Mike Pavlansky, joining us. Coach, I know we say this every single week. It is week 9.
Yeah, how about that?
Incredible. I mean, where does the time go? Obviously into Friday nights, but this week a Thursday night,
Right.
Which we'll talk about in a little bit. But Holy Name, talk to us about that game, what you saw from your guys, what was expected, and how they graded out.
Yeah, obviously, where's time go? When you're having fun and doing something you enjoy, time goes real fast.
Yeah.
And, Holy Name, our guys, we were real pleased with the way we started that ball game coming off of a bye week. Kickoff team was out there first, and they had a 5-yard return. Our defense went 3 and out, and the offense got the ball and went down the field and scored. So you couldn't start a game better, and we were excited about that. We played really well throughout the whole ball game, and I had winning grades on offense and defense, and special teams. We gave a few too many yards, and we've got to correct that stuff for this week, but overall, really pleased with our guys.
That was a team that you said, and you hammered it home, that you were going to need to play for 4 quarters. Your guys did.
Yeah.
Setting the tone, really, for the rest of the way, especially this week against Howland. After a game like that, I mean, there's got to be a lot of flowers to be handed out.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Defensively, we had a tremendous ball game. Had a shutout going until the last drive that they had. And then, we had a safety, gave them a safety, but our defense pitched a shutout and didn't allow any points until the last couple minutes of the ball game. So, across the board defensively, caused 4 turnovers. Really excited about that. That's the most we've caused in a couple years. And then, offensively, our offensive line played outstanding. We averaged 7.1 yards a rush. And getting Vince Luce back at right guard, certainly has helped us. And, he's had a difficult senior year, breaking his foot there in the first ball game. And then, the rehab has gone really well, probably better than we expected. And he worked real hard to get back for his senior night. And, nothing's holding him back right now. The foot's good. It's not sore. He's not limping. So, we're excited that he's going to be able to play again this week. And, special teams did enough. Big kickoff return by Scotty, 93 yards, which we believe to be a school record. We're not too sure. We're still, checking into that. And, overall, just a great senior night by our guys.
Scotty had a great night.
Yeah.
When you look at that, and being a senior on senior night, having that night, that's something he'll remember the rest of his life.
Without a doubt. Him and his buddies, again, they all don't care who gets the credit and who gets the yards and who makes the tackles, as long as they're winning. But Scotty did have himself a great senior night, and I think he'd be the first one to tell you it was made special because of the guys blocking for him.
Oh, absolutely. All right, we turn the page to Howland, a Howland team that hasn't had much success this year. They're still trying to kind of figure out who they are, but you can't take them lightly because you're playing on a Thursday night, which is a little bit off. It's their home game. So what things do you have to be ready for as you take on the Tigers this week?
You got to be ready for anything.
Yeah.
Brian Jones and his staff, one of the better staffs around. Brian Jones has taken the Liberty program, started that, and got him to a playoff caliber. And he's going to do the same thing in Howland if the Howland people give him enough time. And the assistant coaches he has, they've been on some quality football programs, staff-wise, in our area, coming from different places. And, they're going to be prepared. If you look at most of their games, the first quarter, they're competitive. And it just gets away from them. And I'm not too sure if it's, the number game, too many guys going both ways. Who knows why? Turnovers, special team block punts, why games get away from them. But, the one thing we've talked to our guys about is, we've always focused on us. And it's always been about us and our standard of play. And if we go play the way we're supposed to, we've got a good chance of winning this thing. And the times you don't win is when you don't respect your opponent and think you're going to win no matter what. And we had 3 great examples. Our guys came up with themselves Monday in our team meeting. They went back to the 1980 U.S. hockey team. The week before, the Soviets had beaten them in Madison Square Garden. I believe the score was 11-0. And a week later, we're beating them in the Olympic Games in the semifinals. Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
That happens. The one punch happens. And then most recently in the NCAA tournament where UMBC Baltimore beat Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
And 16 seed beating a
16
1 seed
over
for
one.
– yeah, so it happens. it can happen to anybody when you don't respect your opponents. And, hopefully our guys, we've had a good week of prep, from film work in the morning to practices have been really, really good for us. I know our guys respect the Highland Tigers and they respect Brian Jones, and certainly our staff does. And, we know when we go up there, it's not going to be easy. We're going to have to earn another win.
Weird situation playing on a Thursday night in Week 9. Usually you see that Week 1, maybe Week 2. Advantages, disadvantages this time of the year.
Obviously the advantage is you get an extra day to heal up for Week 10.
Yeah, that's true.
But the disadvantage is, and it's on both sides, there's one less day of prep. So you got to really condense, 4 days of prep into 3. Really look at what's important, and like most people do, we concentrate on us, and we're going to try and get better at our weaknesses, and then figure out what Highland's going to try and do, and show our kids that in practice, and hopefully we're prepared for a game on a Thursday.
We get to talk about the seniors here for a moment. Obviously, 9 weeks later, we talked about what they could be, what they should be, and now we get to talk about who they are. What has the senior class done to impress you and leave an impressionable mark on you?
Just a step up to the challenge of following, the first state title in school history. A lot of people wouldn't step up to that challenge. They'd back away because they heard all winter long from a lot of people, and certainly probably some of their friends and the people in the area, they're not going to be as good. They lost a great senior class. They lost Brock Lowry, and our guys never bought into that. They know that the people inside of our building decide how good we're going to be, and that doesn't go with wins and losses. It's just coming every day and preparing and reaching your full potential. And then if you do play well, you're going to have an opportunity to win. If you don't, you don't win. But it doesn't take away from the preparation. And our senior class has just been tremendous that way. They haven't flinched. And if we're fortunate to win one of the last 2 ball games, this will only be the 4th senior class in school history since they started the playoffs in 1972, I believe, to go to the playoffs 3 years in a row.
Wow.
Yeah, and the first one was 2006, and 2007 did it. 3 years in a row, and then last year's senior class went 3 years in a row. So, that's something to be proud of and something they're looking forward to.
I know you're a huge historian, especially when it comes to Canfield sports and football in general. Why is that so important? When you talk about this as the first class to do this, and you reference some of the greater upsets in history. Why is it so important to you to be able to pass that along to these classes?
I think they need to know the history of Canfield football, number one, and where they stand, and that's certainly a motivational tool for them. They want to be known as one of the top classes ever to come through here. And, we've only had a few number of classes that have reached a 30-win total mark in 3 years. And, these guys were at 25, and so now we got 429. Fortunate to win one of the last 2. They'll only be like maybe the 5th or 6th class to win 30 games or more in school history. Wow. And that's something they can look back on and be very proud of, that their work for 12 months a year has really paid off, and that they've left a mark on Canfield football. And we use examples all the time, positive, negative examples of this can happen to you, if you do this, and this can happen to you if you do that, both from a good side and a bad side. And hey, Highland's going to be ready to play.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. They got good, tough kids, physical kids. The Perry kid is as good of an athlete as we faced. He outraced the Cheney kids for 2 touchdowns that were over 50 yards last week. I mean, so he's got speed. We know Cheney has speed. This kid's fast.
Yeah.
And so we've got to be aware of that. And they've always been a physical bunch. And if we go up there and we have the wrong mindset, it's going to be a long night for us.
All right. Last question, as always, off the page, off the reservation. This week, we're talking about senior superlatives. So my question to you, back in high school, as a senior, Mike Pavlansky was most likely to blank.
Most likely to what?
Was it like school spirit? Were you the class clown? What was it?
I wasn't even on the ballot.
What?
I wasn't even on the ballot.
So if your kids got to say Dad was most likely to what now? What would that be?
Take a nap in the afternoon.
Yep. No. You like those afternoon
15
naps.
minutes. You need 15 minutes
a little
a day.
power nap.
That's it.
I love. Where does that fit in on the schedule?
That's usually right after the lunch from about 1:15 to 1:30.
I love it. I love it. Don't bother him then. Don't bother Coach Pavlansky during that time. It's power nap time. Coach, good luck power nap, and good luck against the Tigers.
Appreciate
Thanks,
you.
DJ. Back after this, right here on YSN.